we have been asked by several of the circles about cost cutting and the impact on their budgets and what they're doing. And so I'm going to show you briefly a tool here that's going to go up on the website almost immediately. And I'm not going to get into a lot of detail. I'm just going to show you how the tool works, because it shows the interaction of a reduction in revenue and several other variables without getting into line item budgets. And the managing partners in several other Circle member firms have told me that when they explain this to their partners, they all want to get caught up in line items. They don't want to look at the big picture. And they want to particularly get caught up in the line items to cut where it's not going to impact them. So just watch here what I've got. You'll see that I've got, this version is popular with partners. And you're going to see this pretty soon. The next version is responsible version. And that's that. Some would say, are you implying that partners aren't responsible? When it comes to their compensation, oftentimes they're not. So the answer is yes. So what we have here, and it's a little bit hard to read on this screen, up there the input fields are in the green or yellow. The fields that have the red line are key results. So we start here with any firm, and you have so many partners, managers, staff, entry, IT, HR, administrative people, and then you would have their average hourly hours, which you plug in, and whatever their average hour rate is. Then that automatically calculates the revenue, which in this case is an $8,282,500 firm. Their realization rate is 90%. So that means $7,454. And I've kind of violated my own assumption here on full-time equivalents by taking what they're showing me as average and just starting there. And you'll see in this firm, they averaged $152,128. Then we go on over to the right, and it's their average salaries plus benefits. So that gives in this column total compensation, $5,550,000. And then the projections in that next column are what's going to change when I put in some other variables. So don't worry about that information right now. What if we leave partner compensation the same as it was last year, but we decrease employee compensation by 15%? That means cut some people. And what if we increase or decrease revenue by 10%? And what if we decrease overhead by 10%? Now what happens here is in the projected model, you will see that the net income ends up at $44,000, whereas before it was $40,688. Very close. Partners' compensation remains the same as it was before. Employee compensation down 3.187, overheads down, but it's still at 25%. And we have a $44,000 profit. This is where many partner groups are meeting, and they're going through things like this to see how can we keep partner compensation the same, and we'll cut out some of these other expenses. Have any of you been through those calculations yet? Good. But you're going to go through them if the economy stays tough. Now this works going the other way too. What if we can grow this by 10%? Now you'll see one thing here. If we keep our revenue per full-time equivalent at $152,000, you only need 44.1 people. And I'm going to tell you that I think that in some firms they can probably get by with a 10% reduction in people, but not have to reduce their revenue very much. As somebody said last week, we've got too many people working full-time that have half-time jobs. And we've now gotten serious about that, and we're going to do it. Now let me take you the same numbers, only under the other tab that says more responsible. You'll see this column's the same, but we've projected a decrease in partner income 10% across the board. And you still only need 44.1 people because the numbers have stayed the same, but you haven't cut your employees as much. Now this model we're going to put up on the web because some people have asked for it. It'll be available to all the circles, and we'll probably do it in the next day or two, probably yet today. Use it. What you like about it, let us know. What you don't like about it, let us know. But it's just a tool that I think will help you out there in this process that you're going through today. Questions, Larry?
Why under this concept you're assuming that overhead is variable, but it really isn't? Because when you look at the cost other than people, the people cost and the fringe benefits, then you start looking at a lot of these things aren't variable, such as rent.
Rent's not variable.
Right. But I don't see how you cut down the cost of the overhead just because you cut down people.
I would tend to agree with you in principle, but firms are doing some really stupid things out there today. Or at least I think they're stupid. They're cutting their training and learning budgets. They're cutting people down to where they're just getting 40 hours of CPE. That's all they'll let them have. And that's how they're cutting the overhead budget some. You put the numbers you want to put in there. I'm not sure 10% is right, but you put those numbers in there. But you're right. You have a lot of fixed expenses in overhead. Another way that firms are cutting today is they're cutting out on fringe benefits up there. They're cutting the match on 401k. I think it's real short term, and people are going to remember that in the long term. Other comments or questions? For what it's worth, it's not for everybody, but some of you may be able to use it, and we'll put it out there.